So I've got the basting tape on the edges of my zip, front and back, and what I'm going to do is take a piece of the purse. It doesn't matter which one it is at this stage, but obviously if it's directional, have it the right way up. And what you're going to do is to peel off just one end of the basting tape like that, so you can see now that that's sticky. And you want to put this edge, so flip it over so it's the right side of the zip that's going down onto the right side of your fabric, and you just gently press it in place like that. Just make sure here that you've got enough, like an equal seam allowance from where the zip head finishes and where it ends here, particularly with a metal zip, because when it comes to constructing the bag later, you don't want to be sewing over that, else your needle will break. So try and keep that equidistant. The zip's 9" and we've cut this to 10", so in theory you've got ½ inch to play with at either side. And then the next step is to put a piece of your lining on top like this before we go to the machine. And this is the reason why this basting tape is so good, because you can stick all of these layers together so that they don't shift under the machine. But what I also find useful is, how do you know where to stitch now, because the lining actually covers up the zipper. What you want to do is have your stitch line at 1/4 inch here, so that means we'll be off the sticky tape and your needle won't get glued up and not too close to the zip. So what I always do is I just prepare my lining piece with a 1/4 inch seam allowance, and an easy way to do that is just to use a quilter's ruler if you've got one, or else not, measure 1/4 inch. Make sure that your tailor's chalk has got a nice sharp edge, and use the long edge, not the tips, and draw that. So now we've got 1/4 inch there, and what we can now do is peel the next part on the underside of the zip off like this, and again all the edges together, stick that on top. If your lining has an obvious right or a wrong side, you're drawing this chalk line on the wrong side, because what's going to happen is once that's machined, that's going to flip over and that's going to create one side of the bag, and then we repeat. So you would be drawing this line on the wrong side and having these right sides together. So now we're ready. We don't add the other side on yet. We're going to go to the machine with the zipper foot and secure these together.